Today I'm going to be re-upholstering the headliner. It's been out for several weeks now. Whilst I don't really mind for not having it in the vehicle, it really probably should be in there to keep Queensland Transport or whoever happy. I'm sure they won't have the best opinion of not having it fitted to the car. Once I've actually applied the new headlining material to the headliner foam, I'm going to go ahead and stick back in all the wiring for the lights, which I've been saving in a little box here just to keep safe. And as well as that, I'm going to hopefully have enough material left over to cover the A-pillars. As you can see, they're still also saggy. And we've got all the lights here which have to be refitted as well. So first job, finish cleaning this off. Most of the foam is off. There's just sort of a few niggly bits that need to be done. I had a piece of, thanks very much, had a piece of cotton, just t-shirt cotton, just glued here. It was perfectly fine. That was just with a very cheap spray adhesive. So once this is done, wiring back up duct tape to the car, just to the roof for the time being, just until I can get this in. And then I'm going to have a go at, hopefully there's enough material left to recover those. I've got a few different types of brushes here, plastic, brass I guess it is, and just steel. Steel feels quite abrasive, and this isn't obviously the best brand. You can tell the fact that half of these are falling out already. But the brass ones feel a little bit softer than these two, so I'm going to go ahead and use those, as I don't want to try and destroy the heck out of this thing. I don't think you need to go mad cleaning this. I mean, obviously this is heaps better than it was. I'll have a link above to where I actually took it out and cleaned it off, and you'll see how bad this actually was, like how thick this material is and how disgusting it is to get off. So how it is now is quite good, and where I had that piece of cotton just glued on there, you can see it pulls off quite a bit of the old fur anyway, the old fluffy deteriorating foam crap. So most of it's off, it's just on the corners, but I would like to get those cleaned up obviously for good adhesion. I definitely don't want it sagging anytime soon. So this is where I've got the headliner and adhesive from. You can see these guys, it was literally ordered it Wednesday morning, arrived Thursday, so bloody nice and quick. Excellent web page. They've even got a little tutorial of how to do this process as well. So I'm sort of also using part of their instructions. I didn't buy the full kit, as I've obviously sort of cleaned and prepared the surfaces all myself here. They provide you with this, which you can buy from their webpage. Seems to dry pretty quickly, so they recommend, not taking your time. Now I've gone with a mid-grey colour, so it actually looks a little darker on the video here than it actually is. I did actually want to go black, but I realised that all the trim pieces, such as the sun visors and grab handles and whatnot, are sort of a creamy grey beige, so it's going to look a bit bad, a bit contrast with a complete black. So I've gone with a slightly darker colour, as you can sort of see. Let's just grab a pair of some. So I've gone with slightly darker for the roof. That's fine, but if I do have enough left over of the mid-grey, I will wrap these, because these are bloody hideous at the moment in this falling apart condition. So what I'll do next is unroll this. I've got the old headliner on the floor down here. I'll just sort of drag it over the top and cut off any excess. Hopefully there's enough that I can wrap the two A-pillars. If not, never mind. As you can see here, headliner material has a foam backing on it, a bit of fabric, so it's a mild fabric with a bit of foam, and then the actual obviously the face of the material that you would see, and also the weave of this gives it some sort of you know, ability to sort of stretch and form into these nooks and bends, and I mean you can see this thing here, how much work there is involved in trying to get this to stretch around all these bumps and whatnot. So hopefully I won't sod it up on the first go because it's going to be a
hard task
again. Now this is a 2 meter length, and as you can see there is plenty of overhang, so I can have an inch or inch and a half sort of wrapped around. So 2 meters length, you buy it by the meter or a 25 meter roll. So I've just got 2 meters here. There's plenty of overhang each end in this side, and this end here I've probably got plenty to be able to do the A-pillars there, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Right, so I am going to trim off this long edge here, give it 3 inches or so along here, and that will leave me plenty to do the A-pillars and make it a little easier to do. Once I've trimmed all this off, I will fold this half over onto this half here, and then we'll commence with spraying along here with the adhesive and the other side of the backing of the headliner, and then slowly, I'll get my son to help me out, we'll slowly sort of roll it down. I haven't got the proper tool, but I'll just use like an old clean paint roller that hasn't been used before, and just use that as a way to roll it flat, and hopefully it won't be a complete bastard trying to get it in and out of the you know, the bends and handhole grips, holes and whatnot.
Aww, my legs are too hairy for this.
So we've got it down. I'm giving us a 6 out of 10 because it is incredibly hard. So if you look at sort of areas like this, it's incredibly hard to get it to shape to all these corners here. As this material is quite thick, it's quite hard to get it to go in, so you do end up with some creases. A thinner material, maybe just one layer with sponge like the original material, probably be a lot more forgiving. Quite a lot of sweat drops, I'm afraid, because it's 40 degrees in here. I've cut out all the holes for all the fixtures. A little bit of damage to this bit, unfortunately, but you shouldn't see that, it's in the boot. But generally, I give us 6 out of 10, but we'll see it, we'll judge it once it's in and everything. Hopefully a lot of the mistakes up here that I made will be hidden by the sun visors as well, but we'll see how we go. Yay! We've got this done. It's a 60% good job. I'm not particularly pleased with it, but it looks better than it did when it's sagging. Now, before I put it in, I'm trying to lay out the electrical cables for this. Roof lights, mirror lights, automatic headlights and automatic wipers, and the power for the lights which are on the sun visors. This is the cord which is the main harness. It splits off here. Unfortunately, there's 4 which I hope I've got in the right place. That one's quite obvious. I'm pretty confident that one's okay. But once we get here, it's not quite clear, as there's quite a bit of a harness which sticks down into the front of the sun visor, which you can, not the sun visor, where all the sensors are around the mirror there. So hopefully once we plug this in, I'll give a few things a test and see how they work. Getting all this up here, everything seems to mostly work. I don't know what that one is, I forget. But anyway, it's not working. I think that's supposed to be on all the time or off, but I have a feeling one of these is supposed to be the door open, light comes on, but that's not working now, so whatever. This I've done right, so the light comes on. This sun visor is a bastard to get in. You've literally got to hold this up with one hand, so you really do need to have assistance as you're doing this, because it's a bloody chore. Okay, I've got the whole thing installed, all the trim on except the A-pillars, which I intend to cover in the same sort of grey material, so it's a bit more grey and sort of similar colour blending down onto the dashboard. And as you can see, the rest of the pillars are that sort of beige colour that the trim pieces are. They do contrast quite a lot now, unfortunately, but you know, I don't mind. Everything sort of seems to work.